play of the game from way down.
Two, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bomb stats, Nico gonna find Rainer.
Oh, the life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill. Welcome everybody to the final match of the NGS Rewind. It's going to be a doozy with the quarterfinals Division A playoff match between the number 2 seed gillyShark, number 7 seed Wholesome Halfwits. And we're gonna hop right into it here. So we've already got the map information here. Bans. Thanks, buddy. We've got from gillyShark, the map bans were on Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. And from Wholesome Halfwits, the bans were on Alterac Pass and Sky Temple. Our first game going to be played on Infernal Shrines. All right, here. The Peanut Gallery, getting restless, want to provide their own analysis of what's going to come up here. Shh, that's it. Oh my god, guys. Chill, relax. Thank you. Let's go ahead and get set up here for game number 1 on Infernal Shrines. Chill, relax. So because this is a replay cast, we don't have the map, the hero bans, the order, anything like that. But what we can do is I can tell you the hero bans, just not the order. gillyShark on this banned out Tyrael, Sylvanas, and Anduin. Ooh. Wholesome Halfwits banned out Samuro, Ana, and Kel'Thuzad. But with that, we're ready to go. All right, game number 1 between gillyShark and Wholesome Halfwits. On the right, we've got Wholesome Halfwits. I'm going to screw up some of these names. We've got Dr. Sigelli on ETC, G Money Drums on the Blaze, Freckle Pants on Taronda, Neutrons on Jaina, and Crooked Smile on Phoenix. And on the left, gillyShark, we've got Romedy MC on Malthael, Stark on Hanzo, Kage Kiri. I'm going with Kage because of the other Kage, but Jinxie Cat going to be playing the Johanna, maybe? Yes, and Kimo Tripson on Alexstrasza? We'll go with Kaimo. All right, level 1s. We've got advanced targeting from Phoenix. Also new habits for Blaze, so getting that unstoppable with the globes. Globe quest as well for Jaina with Fingers of Frost. Also Mana Addict for Kael'thas, so globes all around here, although ETC not going into the globe quest. Instead going with the guitar solo. Guitar Hero. Such a good game, right? Old school. But Power Slide in onto the Kael'thas. And we're going to see Kael'thas going down. The first blood here going over to Wholesome Halfwits on this quick rotation now. As far as the rotation times, you know, it's probably slightly in the advantage here of Wholesome Halfwits having the Jaina and the Phoenix being a little bit faster than a Hanzo and Kael'thas, at least for right now. The level 4, you know, maybe that equalizes out. Probably goes a little bit over to then gillyShark. But we'll zoom out here. So both of the teams getting onto their siege camp in the mid lane here. I already know who wins, so you can't fool me with that. But all right, so Blaze and Malthael trying to double soak each other here. Blaze is going to be a little bit slower with that, especially since Malthael's got on a pale horse, so he's going to have that faster rotation between the lanes. And at least currently, not really sure what we're looking for here. I guess just watching this bottom siege camp as Jaina collecting the soak in mid versus the Malthael here. Level 4 is coming up now as well for Wholesome Halfwits, so check in on these talents. But Malthael able to clean up most of that siege camp in the mid there before taking off. We see Hanzo making use of the terrain and his natural agility to get out of dodge there. Power slide in. Dr. Sigelli going to take some tower shots. Just a little bit of free damage there, as they're not quite able to get any of the kills they were looking for. But that's going to send Kaimo and Stark back to base, as they need to get that health and mana here. And Sigelli, Crooked Smile, and Freckle Pants. Yeah, I had to pause after saying that. Making their way onto the bottom siege camp here. Neutrons showing up as well to make sure that they can secure that. So that'll be at least pushing a little bit here in the bot lane, but since it's in the lane that's close by, I don't expect it to be too much value. But neither team has started the shrine, and it is going to be a mortar shrine. But here they go. And that laser getting some work done, not only onto the minions, but also onto the heroes here. Romedy very low. Alexstrasza having to pop that Dragon Queen just to keep her team alive. And that's going to pull Wholesome Halfwits back here. Also, she's going to throw them back, just in case they thought they might come in. A little bit over halfway done for the gillyShark. And here comes Wholesome Halfwits. The jet propulsion in, power slide in, Tyrande stun. What a stun combo here onto that Malthael, sending him out. He would like to think no one can stop death, but they just did. Power slide in onto the Hanzo as well. They're not able to get enough damage onto him here, but they will have the Punisher going over to gillyShark. It's already jumped, so it's going to stay on this side of the wall, but they've got enough damage. They should be able to take that down pretty quickly. Half of the Punisher's health already gone. They're spreading out a little bit because they know this jump's coming soon. And the Punisher doesn't even look like it's going to get a tower down. Not even the wall. So very solid defense here from Wholesome Halfwits. Making sure that they can defend the Punisher after getting those 2 kills onto the Malthael and Johanna. Level 7's now available here for gillyShark, and Kael'thas going into that flamethrower, or burned flesh, or burning flesh, burned flesh. So the percent damage now, whenever he hits 2 or more heroes, so that's a really solid value there. We're also going to see the subdue for the punish, so giving them the extra slow on Johanna. But power slide in, this time Kael'thas is going to be the target. Jet propulsion helping to secure that. And Jinxie Cat in a lot of danger as well, but is able to make it onto the other side of the wall, so that's going to give Wholesome Halfwits the opportunity to push right in onto this aggressive siege camp here and rip the HGC Team Liquid banner that just got replaced. Alexstrasza being pinged here, but she's able to get out as we see new habits being completed for Blaze. And Blaze able to kind of hang out, do his thing up in the top lane here for much of the game. For XP wise, let's actually take a look and see what does the XP look like here. Gravity Lapse does hit onto Crooked Smile there, but while it takes down the shield, not enough to really get significant damage onto his primary health bar there. So we are seeing here Blaze a little bit ahead in the overall XP soak. Not by a huge amount, but half a dozen minions or so. Actually, not even that, just a few, like 3. Tyrande scouting out in the bot lane, making sure that they're not going to that siege camp, as we do have the Halfwits coming in, getting their shaman camp started here, and doing this early. I mean, that's going to allow them to push a little bit with it here with these level 10s before this shrine comes up, because once the shrine comes up, they're going to be focusing on that shrine, and the shaman camp in the mid lane, or in the lane itself, the middle of the lane, is not going to get as much value. But level 10s here, so we've got the Mosh Pit, Purification, Salvo, Ring of Frost, Shadow Stock, and Blaze taking the bunker. And you know what? I like the bunker. There are a couple of different options here on the side of gillyShark. They could potentially go Pyroblast. They won't, but they could. Last Rites is probably the main thing there. Even potentially the Dragon Arrow, giving them a way to get out of those problems there. We also did see that Blessed Shield here, which was used just a moment ago on Blaze in the bot lane there. And it's going to be Phoenix and Lifebinder. So picking up this bot camp here, gillyShark getting the pressure in the bot lane that keeps Blaze down there at least for a little while, but that's also going to give a double Shaman camp in the top lane over to Wholesome Halfwits, and that's going to get them the opportunity to get started on this top shrine immediately, as Blaze now making his way up. Shaman camp has been all but cleared. A couple of dog minions left over. And the Gravity Lapse going out onto the minions there, but long-range Dragon Arrow, big stun onto the backline of Wholesome Halfwits there. The Lifebinder going out onto the Kage, and Kael'thas not quite able to survive that Purification Salvo along with the Blaze combo here. But Blessed Shield going out, and Last Rites is going to secure the kill onto Blaze, as he did not have Bunker, but a huge mosh pit. Going to get interrupted by Death. And that's going to be now with the Phoenix going down. That's a 3-for-1 trade in favor of gillyShark. That's going to give them here the start to their... they're pushing the top lane here. They've got 25 already. I think they should be able to finish this up before the rest of Wholesome Halfwits is at least in a place to do anything here. Alright, so a Frozen Punisher coming in at his full strength with a full team behind it. Blaze going into the mid lane to get Soak, and there's the jump over the wall here. The Gravity Lapse onto ETC, trying to catch him into one of those roots, but of course the tower is now being shut down. The only damage coming in onto this Punisher comes from heroes, and it's already about 20% here, so pretty big damage, but the Punisher jumping onto ETC, knocking him out of here. MVP John Cena. As gillyShark is going to go ahead and pull back now. Even with the player advantage, they don't have a minion wave here. They did get half of the fort, but they're also down a talent tier, at least on that fight they were. And Blaze getting a little bit of damage, but realizing that there's a rotation coming from the rest of the gillyShark crew. Malthael catching that owl, making sure that Wholesome Halfwits knows exactly where he is. The North remembers. The throws are coming. Indeed, indeed. All right. Jaina getting to work here on the counter siege camp here, as Phoenix trying to clear out in the mid lane. Let's take a look at those quest talents, shall we? So New Habits was completed 22 so far on Phoenix. Looking to get to that 30 to get that extra laser, or extra circle out of the laser. 2 stacks so far on Last Rites. Kael'thas managed to pick up 20, so does have that shield. Here comes the Hanzo arrow. And Last Rites going out onto ETC, not quite enough though to secure that kill, as Tyrande making sure to pop off with the Elun's Chosen. Keeping ETC nice and healthy. So far, still the only structure down in the game, the top lane. And this time, ETC does find the Kael'thas here. And the jet propulsion, I don't think caught, but it didn't matter, as there were just so many health bars there, body blocking. And Ramadi going to be the next kill. So that's a quick 2-0 here for Wholesome Halfwits. Really great job on Dr. Sigelli to come around behind, get that flank, and secure the kill. And the rest of the team to follow up with the second kill there onto Malthael. And a little bit of damage here from Hanzo onto the bot, getting it about a third of the way down here, but still no structures down for gillyShark just at the moment. Clearing up in the top here, we've got the world's fastest camp clear in the Dragon Queen and Johanna. Took them a little while to deal with it, but that's okay. And now with the Shaman camp going here in the top lane during this is the first time that really Wholesome Halfwits has been able to have a camp that's going in another lane, and that Hanzo arrow missing the Blaze here down on the bot. Bunker being used, I think, just to protect from the potential of that Blessed Shield, and that's ultimately going to force the rest of gillyShark to go back. But again, Shaman Camp, top lane. It's in a separate lane from where the shrine is active. That's going to mean that Malthael's got to go back and clean that up, especially having the catapult pressure in that lane as well. Even if it's occasional, it's still present. But that's now the opportunity that gillyShark needs to get their first fort down of the game here. Especially with level 16s already available for Wholesome Halfwits here. So that's going to give them the opportunity to have some off-lane pressure as well from some catapults. But they're just looking to get 16 as they do prior to having Wholesome Halfwits finish up this arcane shrine. And there's no wall here for this to jump over, so the team can come right into this, and we've seen what the power of the power slide jet propulsion lunar flare combo can be. And oh, by the way, there's a ring of frost in there too, in case they happen to need one more. And with that in mind, we're gonna see the entirety of gillyShark pulling back behind the wall, with the exception of Hanzo, who's picking up that bottom camp. Sidewall is... I can't tell. There, it's down. Yeah, it's down. So now, ETC looking here. Hanzo arrow going in. Jet propulsion coming out as well here. Purification salvo. The bunker's dropped in the back. ETC gets the mosh pit, but interrupted by the Alexstrasza. And I'm not sure that that last rites was meant for Phoenix, as Phoenix was still pretty full health there. But ultimately, all of the health bars on the side of Wholesome Halfwits pretty low, so they're going to back out. They did get the wall, they got that mid fort, and they got 25% or so of the keep as well. So this bottom lane pushing the lane up a bit, but not able to quite get to the wall and provide any value there just at the moment. Just trade all the ults, exactly. Every single ult used, and everybody survives. But they'll all be coming back up soon. A little bit faster here for gillyShark than for Wholesome Halfwits. So they may actually look to make a play happen here while they have ultimates and Wholesome Halfwits doesn't. But right now, Wholesome Halfwits not really looking for that fight. There's not really anything on the map other than soak. There are no camps. There are no shrines. But here comes the fight. ETC is going to get the knockback here onto the back line. And I don't even know that the front line even knows what's going on here, as Hanzo coming in here is able to get some damage out. Purification salvo coming out. Alexstrasza gets jet propulsion and goes down. Also Malthael, Crooked Smile getting a little bit low. Not too badly though, but Johanna's going to be the next kill. So a 3-for-1 trade, as Dr. Sigelli getting turned into some Big Macs. And Toronto scouting out, making sure that this Shaman camp is wide open, that none of the two people from gillyShark are here to potentially cause any problems here. So that's going to give them a nice easy camp clear. And I imagine they're coming down into the mid lane to clean up, soak, and get as much damage onto this wall as they can while that Shaman camp is cleared in the top lane by Hanzo. And they do actually get all of the way down, so that's going to be a full keep down here for the side of Wholesome Halfwits. So they've taken out 2 forts and a keep, and all they've lost so far is that bottom fort. They do have the Punisher coming in the bottom lane, though. Mortar Punisher on the next round. They should be level 20 before that spawns. And if you're gillyShark right now, this is getting a little sketch. It's unlikely that this Punisher is going to go straight into the keep because there's still a fort, so there's a good amount of time to deal with that. The wall is down, so they'll likely just deal with it the same way that they did in the mid lane, which is to sacrifice the fort and defend it at the keep. But level 20s here, let's showcase those here. As Wholesome Halfwits getting right on to the point, they want to get this started, and pretty clear that gillyShark making the value where they can. Getting the top fort down now, so that's going to equalize at least a little bit of pressure in the top fort. But now, because of that, Wholesome Halfwits in the bot lane, clearing up this fort. So now there's no delay. There's no pause button on the Punisher. It's going straight into the keep. And they're still in need of a half a level. There's a fairly significant amount of XP here in the mid lane, so Malthael appears to be safely soaking that. A couple of catapults there as well. Still about a third of the level to go. And here comes the Punisher. We do have ETC zoning out from the top here along with the Blaze. And again, working on that side wall first. The Punisher stuns onto the Johanna. But ETC not looking for that power slide. Does have the Mosh available. Level 20's just around the corner, so if they can hold on long enough. Hanzo is working on that in the mid lane there. And here it comes. Hanzo's going to be looking to maybe come in with play of the game, but there's the power slide in onto 2. Immediately interrupted is the Mosh Pit. Romedy going to go down even with that Lifebinder. Also Johanna, and now Kael'thas getting stunned or rooted there. Rooted is going to get chased down by neutrons here. But ultimately able to use that tap. Malthael goes down. And the Punisher getting some significant value onto the team, but also the core. And that's going to be game number 1 going over to Wholesome Halfwits. The number 7 team coming in with the first win of the game. Looking strong. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Nope, gotta do that. Alright, so game number 2 is going to take place on Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow being the selection of gillyShark. So good game there. Good job to Wholesome Halfwits. All right, let's update the teams here so we can get on to the next game. Oh, we had a substitution, it looks like. All right, that's all updated. So let's take a quick look here at, let me go ahead and add them a point on the brackets here. Wrong one. All right, so the brackets here, based on this playoff result so far, So number 7, Wholesome Halfwits, number 2, gillyShark. But let's actually take a look at the bracket here. As we see here, Wholesome Halfwits now 1 point over gillyShark. Whoever wins this match will go on to play against Sky 5 as they defeated Regen Retro earlier in the week. We did see also Rewind versus Team Happy Cloud. That was yesterday, maybe? Or a day or two ago. And pulled up the 2-0 over Team Happy Cloud for Rewind. Line Speed and Team Training Wheels, though, coming up tonight. And that game is going to be cast by Ryokai at 10:30 Eastern. So relevant data for all of you interested in what's going on in Division A today. But let's go ahead and get set up for game number 2 on Cursed Hollow. All right. All right, here we go. On the left, we have gillyShark. We've got Kaimo Tripson on the Rhaegar, Stark on Greymane, Chest Looter on Rexar, Jinxie Cat on Johanna, and Kage Kiri on Abathur. Did I type Abathur? Yeah, I did. Okay, whatever. On the right, Wholesome Halfwits. Neutron's going to be playing the Rainer, Crooked Smile on the Kael'thas, G Money Drums on Imperius, Dr. Sigelli on Arthas, and Freckle Pants on Anna. And in case you are curious as to the bans for the hero bans here, gillyShark had banned out the Blaze, Jaina, and ETC, all of which provided tons of value that game, so really targeted bans for what they had to deal with there. Wholesome Halfwits sticking with the ban on Samuro. They also banned out the Zarya and Anduin. So Kael'thas doing a little bit of a circuit here, checking around for, I don't know, Abathur mines maybe, I guess. And Greymane versus Imperius in the top lane. We're going to see Rexar versus Kael'thas, at least to start with, in the bot lane. And keeping with tradition, we've got a few quests here. We've got the root quest coming out from Arthas here, Frost Presence, eventually allowing him to root people even in the line of fire, so to speak. Mana Addict for Kael'thas, and that, at least so far, is all we've got for questing talents. We're going to see a rotation from Raynor coming up into the top here, looking to see if maybe Neutrons can get the kill onto the Greymane. Greymane's pretty far forward here. Does get the Abathur hat, probably a little bit late trying to get in there. A lot of damage though. Greymane is probably just fine though. They've got an Abathur hat. And also a tap. So Rhaegar making use of the support meta to be able to get in there and pick up that siege camp with no issues. But Stark and Abathur here gonna get that kill onto the Imperius. For first blood going over to gillyShark this game. Down in the bot lane here, Dr. Sigilli on the Arthas versus the Rexar, trying to stall things out here. As the rotation from Raynor and Kael'thas along with the Imperius up into the top lane, trying to stall out the damage coming into this top fort. And so far here, all the aggression coming out from gillyShark, which is a little bit surprising with the Abathur comp. Being a short a body here, it's usually the other way around. You usually have the Abathur comp being a little bit more the defensive side of things, but again, Greymane going in hard, trying to catch on to the kill onto Neutrons there, but not quite enough to get there. making use of that Abathur hat quite well. So we do have Behemoth armor here for Raynor, stacking up that health every time he hits with his Give Him Some Pepper. We also have the Frozen Tempest quest, which will allow for Frozen Tempest slows to continue beyond when a person exits the slow. And is it Hunter-Gatherer? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Hunter-Gatherer for the globes, ultimately giving the armor to Rexar and Misha once that is completed here. Rhaegar just diving in there with the Abathur hat, and Misha getting sacrificed just to stall this out. As Abathur getting that soak in the top lane here, Stark is just barely able to make it out. And once again, the stall. Crooked Smile eventually is going to be able to get this channel, but holy cow. Actually, the... Oh, I see. I see what you're doing there. Hunter CJR. I can't remember. You'll have to go back and watch the VOD. I'm sure it's there. Alright, Siege Camp. Already picked up. They're instead going to make their way to the Bruiser Camp. And a little bit of an XP lead here, about half of a level so far on the side of gillyShark. But again, so far, all of the macro has really been in favor of gillyShark here. Level 7's now picked up for both teams. And we've got a bit of a bush gank potential here. Greymane diving in with that Abathur hat, does have the auto attack speed as well, does get the kill onto the Kael'thas and G Money Drums on Imperius, looking potentially like the next one. But is able to make it out there. That's going to give now the tribute over to gillyShark. And with the Bruiser Camp in the middle here, Dr. Zajelli trying to do what he can to slow this down, does get the root out onto the Rexar. And a little bit of damage, but nothing too significant for Arthas. He's just fine. He can always death coil himself if he wants to. But instead, making use of that Frozen Tempest and building the quest up in the top lane here. Greymane going to town with that Abathur hat. And keep in mind that he does have the Adrenal Overlord, given that additional attack speed as well. So Greymane already solid single target damage, really just getting extra value because of that. Bruiser Camp now being picked up by Wholesome Halfwits here. They're about a level behind now here, as Greymane coming in scouts this out. And we see pings coming from all over the place saying that they're on their way. So we're going to see Imperius coming in, looking to try to get the stun, but the Gravity Lapse is going to get the stun onto Greymane. And that's a huge kill for them, allowing them now to get the camp, but also, in theory, should allow them to pick up this tribute. Which is very important considering the level 10 now coming on here for this Abathur comp, and it's going to make these fights a little bit more dangerous. And it's already been a little bit difficult for them. And instead of continuing to work on the soak, they're instead going to come over here and get their boss going. And it looks like that's exactly the same thing that gillyShark's going to do. They're going to get to work on their boss as well. And I think overall this slightly favors Wholesome Halfwits, since that boss will push opposite of where the tribute is spawning. Although the tribute's still kind of middle-ish, so it's not exactly close by. But look at this wave in the middle here. Gonna get at least a tower down. I can't see any way that that wave doesn't get a tower down. Maybe even both. But Rhaegar here doing his best with the Abathur hat. Just might actually save. Maybe even both of them. Just enough. So up in the top here, Johanna and Abathur doing what they can against this boss here. It's going to be able to get that top tower as well. So a little bit of damage. little bit more damage here from the bot boss, though. And because of the timing of when these were picked up, all hands on deck now for the tribute here. But Dr. Sigelli has a chase of 3.5 here. But on the other side, the Greymane clone almost getting to the Kael'thas, but ultimately it's going to be Greymane going down for the Imperius here. Misha popping off with the Misha charge, keeping her team safe, and that's going to give now Wholesome Halfwits the first curse of this game. Greymane is back up. But up in the top lane here, Abathur is making use of his little steam engines to stall out the lane. Kael'thas showing up to the party, but just a little bit outside of the vision, so no way really for Kael to pick up the Abathur kill there. But up here in the bot lane here, Raynor popping off with penetrating round. There goes the angelic armaments, but Raynor just gets blown up. Blessed Shield going out, angelic armaments ending and getting a little bit of damage here, but look at these health bars. Nobody took almost any damage there. So 2 kills for nothing. And now they're going to get started getting the counter kill onto this fort during their enemy's curse. Arthas in a bit of an awkward spot here. If Misha's able to catch him, then that could be a big problem, but looks like they're safe. So top and bottom rather are taken down thanks to the curse. Bottom taken on the other side though, as level 13 is coming up here. Bruiser Camp was picked up by gillyShark, so that's going to be addressed here soon by Wholesome Halfwits here. But let's take a look at these level 10s here. We got that ancestral healing. The Blessed Shield, go for the throat. Unleash the boars, right? Unleash the boars, yeah. And clone, whatever it's called. Ultimate evolution. But Dr. Sigelli this time popping off the Army of the Dead, just somehow manages to stay alive. The Ancestral going out on a Greymane, so that Pyroblast is not going to kill him. And Misha instead going to be the kill. Not quite able to get the stun onto the Johanna. So it looks like another example of popping a lot of ultimates and no deaths in this case. Clone still is available, as is Hyperion, so mid fort is going to go down. This time they do get the stun. Jinxie Cat down to about half. Does still have the iron skin and gets out of there along with that Abathur hat, so that's going to give now Wholesome Halfwits 3 forts down with only one of their own being down. And Clone was used in there as well, so that's going to be down for a bit. Boss is up in just under a minute. And 50 seconds as well on the bottom boss, but check it out. Abathur, ready to go. Paying attention. Wants to know if Wholesome Halfwit shows up to the party. Alright, so Bruiser Camp being picked up here for Wholesome Halfwit, so they'll have some lane pressure in addition to their catapult pressure going on while this tribute is coming up. But Imperius up in the top lane dealing with the Siege Camp, so oh my goodness. Good night to Arthas. Thought he was safe, but not so much. I agree, Alice. So now, it'll be interesting to see if Wholesome Halfwits really tries to poke this out, which they do. Hyperion will stall it out for a little bit here. Still 10 seconds before Arthas is even on the map, and still fairly lengthy run here. And this is pretty, I don't know. I don't really think I like this, but there's the clone coming out. They do force that out. Greymane now doubled, and Kael'thas getting the gravity lapse onto the clone here. Got fighting on 2 fronts here, And now the Greymane clone chasing after Ana is going to go down to the fort. Looks like Chest Looter going to be able to pick it up in the back there, getting that tribute. But Arthas slowing everybody down. Looks like maybe Misha goes down, and that's it. Now the Pyroblast with the Nano Boost does do a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough to kill a full health, or nearly full health, Johanna. So once again, all of the ultimates used. Go for the throat, not used though. Or at least maybe it was on cooldown from earlier. Level 16 is available here as well. So interestingly enough, Wholesome Halfwits backing away, choosing instead to get onto the siege camp. And the siege camp, if they take it at the right time, will help to kill the boss that's coming their way. But only they're gonna have, like, they have to leave somebody here, and it looks like maybe that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, okay. So they've got to leave somebody here to trigger this. Looks like that's gonna be Arthas. And I think that might have even still been too early for this to get significant value against the boss. Because I think they're gonna walk away too far, maybe? No, okay, it's still in range. So, alright, so the pull onto Arthas there. Army of the Dead was used. Here comes Unleash the Boars. So once again, popping off the ultimates. But nobody's dead. Clone is still available. And now with Army of the Dead expiring, that's going to be a quick tribute here for Wholesome Halfwits. And the boss does make it all the way through the wall here, is going to get some damage onto the bottom keep, but ultimately will get itself cleared out. But continuing on the map pressure here, we've got gillyShark getting over onto their siege camp. And at least while gillyShark has all of their forts down, they do have half of a keep down as well on the other side. So Wholesome Halfwits is not out of danger here, and we're going to see them coming up, setting up a bush party for gillyShark to come into. They're not going to take the invitation. However, Dr. Sigelli deep in, he's not playing a hero that can just walk away. Well, I guess that's all he can do. So Gravity Lapse going in onto Johanna, pulling the team back in, but the Earthbind Totem going to slow them down. And this is now a tribute, which is Curse Point here for gillyShark. So that's going to pull them off of the boss potential. Kael'thas is going to head up and deal with that siege camp here. But that's a big problem, because now probably their biggest potential damage in these narrow corridors is out of the fight. We do see him rotating down here. Maybe taking a circuitous route. And that's going to give the curse over to gillyShark now. So we'll see how much value they can get out of this curse. Try to equalize out the lane pressure in the mid and top that they've gotten from earlier in the game. And they do get the middle at least. And it looks like Abthar's making his way slowly, dropping some additional mines there. And should be able to get that top as gillyShark making their way here to the bot lane, seeing if they can't get this keep down. Just in case I hadn't showed the 16s here, I wanted to show those up for you guys. And we're going to see gillyShark pulling back. They do have all of their ultimates except for Unleash the Boars. But so does Wholesome Halfwits. Kael'thas trying to work on some damage there in the mid lane just to keep it from doing too much onto their wall. And it looks like we're going to get a pretty strong defense on this bottom keep from Wholesome Halfwits. But they are down about 1.25 levels on the race to level 20. And at level 20, this becomes a little bit more difficult. You can see the roots coming out from Rexar on Unleash the Boars. We can see Indestructible out of Johanna, or even the Blinded by the Light with the extra shielding. Abthar gets the upgraded clone, or maybe he goes for a double symbiote. So a lot of potential options that make things a little bit more difficult for Wholesome Halfwits. And it looks like there's the charge, the Blessed Shield in on Imperius. He uses the Angelic Armaments. Is going to be able to make it away once again. Like, absolutely bonkers how many times these heroes have managed to survive. Misha going to be the sacrifice here. Greymane probably is okay. Helps split the damage there with Kaimo. And now we're going to see the rotation up onto the boss from Wholesome Halfwits. So they do get on there. Pressure is mounting in the bottom. Down goes the well, and while there is a catapult on both sides, that could potentially start getting damage on the keep again, as it's already down to about 10%. Arthas once again holding the bush here, making sure that anybody from gillyShark that comes in at least has to make it through the auto attack and movement speed slow. And it looks like G-Money Drums is going to head back, maybe clear up this bot lane. And it looks like it's not just G-Money Drums. But we do have now the boss available in the bot lane here for gillyShark, and they're level 20. Let's pop those up here. So, gonna get a Storm Shield Indestructible. The Splash Bullets, I believe. Yep, Hunter's Blunderbuss. And Rexar instead gonna take the big boost of armor there. So 4 seconds of 75 armor. And the extra Hive Mind from Abathur. So Blessed Shield did go out, just pushing back Wholesome Halfwits here. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and sacrifice this keep. There's not a ton that they can do, especially with the clone coming in. It's going to be able to take out most of the damage that needed to happen anyway. And now there's a full health boss coming in to the core. They do get level 20. I feel like I just had this conversation about another map, but they're able to bring down the Punisher already to half very quickly. And by Punisher, I mean boss. So no actual core damage. Never mind, 3% core damage. Welcome, Rackham. Glad you could join us today. We're on game number 2 between gillyShark and Wholesome Halfwits. Currently the score 1-0 in favor of Wholesome Halfwits. It looks like we might see a... Okay, just setting up here. They're going to get the siege camp. I don't know. Are they going to go for the core? Is that what they're trying to look at here? Looks like that's the case. And they do have a Greymane with an Abathur hat or a clone, which is just coming up now here. So Misha's gonna get pulled back, and the Hyperion pulling him out, pushing him out, making sure that this core call is not going to succeed, at least not right now. And I think, yeah, top lane did take some damage there, so it's about 20% down or so. But Abathur, I believe, has Mule, right? Yeah, so that'll be filled back up pretty easily. The next tribute, Curse Point, could be for Wholesome Halfwits here. Just south of the mid lane on the side of gillyShark. But they don't have to go for it. They could leave this. They could just clean up the siege camp that will be coming around the same time. And they're just looking for those Abathur mines, clearing them out, making sure that there's nobody hanging out in any of these bushes. And again, siege camp is now available. There's not a lot of time for a rotation though, so I'm kind of surprised here that there's no interest in dealing with the tribute. Instead, we're going to see them rotating onto the bruiser camp in the middle. You can't see it right now, but this is my questioning face. So they're going to hearth back. getting to work here on the bottom lane. Our Wholesome Halfwits trying to equalize out the keep that they lost earlier here. And there goes the Blessed Shield. And Hyperion coming out as well. Not a whole lot going on here. Clone did come out, and that's going to be negated now as well. So no more Clone here. Wholesome Halfwits with the curse is in pretty good shape, but Dr. Sigelli really far in there. G-Money Drums as well. Pyroblast going out onto the Greymane. I think he's just fine. Does make it to the base. And now it's going to be a keep going down here, but uneven 4 versus 5 here. G-Money Drums trying to get the stun out. Does, but ultimately falls, and Living Bombs going on all over the place there. And by the way, we have eternal bombs, Master of Flames, Living Bombs spreading for the entirety of, as long as people stand next to each other. But now this turned into a 3 versus 5, and we see quite clearly here also the clone timer keeps going on and off, so I wonder if it actually doesn't show because when Abathur is hatting somebody. But anyway, so here's the Greymane along with the symbiote onto Misha, trying to get damage onto the core. Arthas is up in 6 seconds here, but so far Crooked Smile trying to run away from the Greymane, and this is looking like game number 2 going over to gillyShark. And just a moment ago it looked like it was all about Wholesome Halfwits, but with that bottom lane pressure, with that turnaround started by Jinxie Cat with that Blessed Shield, able to secure the victory. 7 kills to 3, a very low kill count game. But as they say, you don't win the game by killing heroes, you win the game by killing the core. So whatever it takes, however you make that happen, even if it means juice pirates. All right, so we've got a game number 3. Let's see where we're going. Game number 3 is going to be on Dragonshire. And the map pick was of gillyShark. All right, so give us just a moment as we get set up for game number 3 here. In case you're wondering who us is, it's me and Al. Alpha's right there. Right there. She's passed out. All right, let's see. Oops. So how y'all doing tonight? So they got some more games here. I know there's a Division D game going on right now between House of Ches and Zul'jin Distillery. We actually cast each of them earlier. There are a few other games. Division, there's a Heroic Div, there's an A, and I believe a Division B game tonight for the playoffs here. So we'll have to see who's around when we get this all wrapped up. All right, we are all set up for game number 3 here for Dragonshire between gillyShark and Wholesome Halfwits. Going into game number 3. So exciting. And this is the kind of excitement you want in playoff matches, right? Like there are a lot of 6th seed teams that have overcome the challenge of defeating a 3rd seed. Wholesome Halfwits is 7. So even just getting a map off of a top tier team, a top 1 or top 2 seed, is fantastic. It's great. But they've really played well. Even last game, it looked like it was very possible for Wholesome Halfwits to come back in that and actually potentially even win the game. But here we go. Game's all set up. Let's introduce our teams. On the left, we've got gillyShark, Chest Looter on Malthael, Kaimo Tripson on Stukov, Stark going to be playing Medivh, let's see, Kagekiri on Abathur, and Jinxie Cat on the Arthas. Over to the right, we've got Wholesome Halfwits, Neutrons on Jaina, G Money Drums on Thrall, Frickle Pants on Lucio. Let's see, who else? Dr. Sigeli on Johanna, and Crooked Smile on Sylvanas. Let's take a look at our talents here. Oops, what did I do? Okay. Trying to turn off the chat there. So talents posted there, we do have multiple quests this time, so Shatter Daggers for Sylvanas, looking to stack those up. Along with the Frostbolt, or Frostbite, rather, for Jaina. Echo of the Elements for Thrall, and what's the other one? Once again, the root quest from Arthas, which I can never remember the name, Frost Presence. A little bit of a skirmish there, so checking in, Jaina did get a little bit of damage, 630 on her baseline trait quest. We also have the Accelerando from Lucio, allowing for a little bit faster movement from him. And Malthael, instead of taking on a Pale Horse, instead took Fear the Reaper, getting that additional movement speed for himself rather than when mounted. Also, Low Blow out of the Stukov. But right away here, we've got the Sylvanas Jaina working on the siege camp as Stukov and Medivh get started on the opposite side here. So I wouldn't actually mind seeing them be aggressive about an invade, but I don't know how difficult that would be with the Medivh there. But having this Abathur comp, I feel like they need to be more aggressive than they were in that first game. So far, they're a little bit ahead in the XP. Partially because of that camp, though. So Siege Camp, not quite able to get a tower down there. It does get about halfway, though. And now Jinxie slowing down Dr. Sigeli. But the Doctor's got Iron Skin, so ultimately can make it out whenever he wants. So what do we got? 3 versus 3 here in the mid lane. Lucio heading up into... what I meant to say was in the bot lane. Lucio heading up into the mid lane. Just to make sure that, say, I don't know, maybe an Abathur doesn't find their way onto the Dragon Knight, but that's exactly what's happening right now. Abathur making his way, but Lucio realizing, hey, this is not good. That's going to give now Jinxie Cat getting the root onto Sylvanas, makes it out of there with all of 7 health. And that's a dangerous place to Hearth, because even without the potential of them seeing you, like, Arthas could have just thrown a root over the wall and trying to hit somebody else and potentially got you. But ultimately, it is going to be first blood going on to Johanna. And channel's still available here. Chest Looter is going to be able to pick it up. And that's going to be the first Dragon Knight going over to gillyShark. Which is a little surprising early in the game here with the Abathur comp here. But, oh my goodness, Crooked Smile taking so much damage there from the Stukov. Stark gets down to 19 health. And Johanna just barely not able to finish the job there. But the Dragon Knight able to finish up the wall, both towers, and still has a little bit left in the tank. Medivh scoping around in the bot lane, trying to get that soak, as they are now level 7. And level 7 will be coming up here soon for Wholesome Halfwits. Jaina versus Medivh in the bot lane. It's just like that horrifying brawl on Tomb of the Spider Queen. The mage battle. And Arthas sitting at 7 on level 1 quest. 45 so far on the Frozen Tempest. Johanna once again taking Subdue, and 19 out of 20 here for Thrall. So Thrall will be done with the Echo of the Elements soon, giving that second use of Chain Lightning now. That'll help his self-sustain here. But down in the bot, we've got Johanna dealing with the Stukov / Arthas, but here comes the Medivh here. And Dr. Sigeli getting the speed boost out. Just barely surviving there. Probably could have switched from the speed boost over to the healing pulse at some point there, especially with the root, but ultimately Johanna lives, so it's all good. As the Bruiser Camp getting a little bit of value down in the bot lane here, but Malthael making the rotations here, getting that double soak. Let's take a look at that XP. Thrall pretty heavily in the lead on the XP right now. Although I think that's probably a combination of Malthael double soaking and probably Avatar picking up some of the XP that Malthael is not. Just especially given the numbers for the rest of the teams here. So level 4 Merc Queen online, and take a look at these Siege Giants. They're massive. And keep in mind with the Abathur once again having Mule, if they don't take these structures down, they're just going to get healed back up. And so we see Sylvanas going in hard there, even using her Haunting Wave, which means that eventually she's just going to die here as the Abathur hat coming in to help secure that kill. But even with that, well, never mind. I was going to say, even with that here, gillyShark in a bit of an awkward place as they had to walk through, but they have a teleport. They just teleported right through, got those level 10s, and secured yet another kill onto the Johanna. And once again here, level 10s slightly ahead for gillyShark. And this is where the fights become a little bit more difficult for Wholesome Halfwits. And as we can see G Money Drums there just getting melted by the Malthael plus Abathur hat. But Malthael, they're trying to get in the double kill. Holy cow. So much damage, and it's going to be one more. 4 for nothing. All started just simply with a Malthael with a hat. And that should be another Dragon Knight here as Kage Kiri hopping in. Getting ready to go. More throws. Dr. Sigeli, no doubt. No doubt. Mid-fort gonna go down to this Dragon Knight along with the well, and the Dragon Knight's gonna go ahead and back out here. We see Medivh went ahead and backed, and Dragon Knight's gonna come down, start working on this bot lane, as there's no structure damage down here, just a little bit on the wall. But as a reminder here, they do have a mule, so even that one tower that's down, they can heal that back up. They do have a mule, right? They do have the mule, yeah. The punt going out onto Sylvanas, getting the Haunting Wave out, but not quite quickly enough to avoid the... I wonder what the dragon... You know what, let's look. What is the Dragon Knight's ability called? We'll deal with that later. A big Leyline Seal coming out here, hitting all 4. Jaina being the only one that did not get that. Let's go to that one. There we go. What is that? Oh, feels bad. Okay, well, big root from Arthas. And good boop there from Lucio, knocking him away from the portal here. Protect going out, but it's going to be Stukov falling first. Kage going to be dying. No, that's a clone. But Thrall going to get caught by Last Rites, and so now a 1-for-1 trade so far here. Dr. Sigeli very low, but looking maybe to go back in. But thanks to that portal, Medivh able to get the rest of his team out to safety. So level 13 to 12. And we do see here, is that the spell armor? It is the spell armor. An interesting talent, because you have to time your spell armor in advance of when you're going to take the damage. So if you know that you're in a ring, then you probably pop that off and you're okay. But a little bit harder with some of the other abilities there. Teleport coming in, portal from Medivh, but for one, nobody's there, and for two, he was probably just checking to see who was over there. And the Stukov shoving back the Johanna there. Once again, that leyline seal hitting 3 with the portal coming in as well. And also back out. So 37 stacks for Master's Touch here. The Sundering goes out, stunning the Malthael, and they do get the kill. Bringing down that Avatar of Death. I don't know, whatever he is. Angel of Death. Stukov with that massive shove. And Thrall is 100% out of this fight. But with the siege camp here getting empowered by Sylvanas, it's doing a lot of damage still onto this fort. And that's going to be a fort in the bot lane down here for Wholesome Halfwits. Equalizing out 1-for-1 on the fort structure count here. Equalizing the trickle XP. And we haven't seen any of the bruiser camps get picked up here, other than in the bot lane. We haven't seen the mid ones here. But as I say that, here we go. Picking up the bruiser camp for Wholesome Halfwits. Malthael gonna head up onto the point here. Thrall does see this. Now, last time Thrall tried to go 1v1 versus Malthael, it became a not 1v1, and it went very poorly for the entire team. And we see it starting here as the rest of the team, though, showing up to the fight here. Medivh does get the portal out, so Malthael does get out of there. Last Rites gets the kill. Ice block coming in just a little bit too early for that. And with the bruiser camp now, we're going to see some damage onto the wall. The mule trying to heal it up a little bit. But there it goes. And I think actually the mule died in there too. So Johanna going back to the point, making sure that Abathur can't just zip over there and secure the Dragon Knight. The rest of the team heading down into the bot lane to pick up that second control point. And stall out the Dragon Knight. Level 16s here for gillyShark. And so far, pretty even as far as the structures. Even, like, the XP is not as far back as I would expect to see with a 7 kill advantage over to gillyShark here. But again here now we've got Johanna versus Malthael. Now that's definitely a fight that you lose with an Avatar hat, but not when the rest of the team shows up. Here comes the Root, followed up by the Sundering, and the Mind Control as well. It looks like maybe Malthael dies here, and he does. Getting the Leyline Seal coming out onto 3. Not quite enough to save the Aspect of Death. And I believe this is the... yeah, it is. So Medivh gonna be able to pop off with those leyline seals all the time. But thanks to that kill onto Malthael, Thrall is making his way down south, heading to the bot lane to get onto the point. And we may see a rotation into the mid now. Looks like Johanna's heading there. But of course, Medivh is nearby. He's gonna be able to stall this out. But instead, it's gonna be Thrall versus Arthas, and that's gonna be one dead Thrall. So 1-for-1 on the altars. Siege camps are available on both sides. Looks like Wholesome Halfwit's going to make use of that first. But Arthas here roots the Jaina, has the Stukov nearby, can have an Abathur hat at any time, and Medivh right behind. So the portal calling for the team in here. Level 16 is available for both teams. Jaina gets rooted here, doing a lot of damage though. Mind control onto Arthas, pulling him in toward the fort is going to take some damage there. Ice block going out here as the double Arthas combo sending Jaina into the graveyard. Feels bad, man. Jaina just wanted to love you. Why did you have to go and kill her? But here we go. So once again in the middle, Thrall versus Malthael, also Abathur. And the Last Rites is not going to get the kill, but it's going to force Thrall to stay back as Abathur is going to get going to get into the Dragon Knight. So check that ability, because I wanted to see what the names of these things are. Savage Charge. Remember that, everybody. And Flame Breath. Well, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Dragon Knight coming into the bot lane. And we see the portal already spawned here. The one half of it anyways, ready to go. Should there need to be a disengage. Everybody but Thrall from Wholesome Halfwits is here. But Johanna getting rooted there into the silence. Tower's getting very low. Rotation up into the mid here for the dragon. Looking to get a little bit of that XP. Make their way closer to level 20. Because right now they don't want to make this fight. They don't want to be too aggressive with this. As Abathur, yeah, he could just die if he comes out of that Dragon Knight too close to anybody with any kind of CC. And almost all of them have some way to just screw over an Abathur. So making it happen. Working on that level 20. But here comes the Ring of Frost. Does hit a couple, but there's the Leyline Seal as well to just stop that problem. Johanna getting shoved all the way back to her fort. And it looks like G Money Drum's going to be the first casualty here. Sorry, I guess second, because Sylvanas died earlier. But Freckle Pants on Lucio trying to get away. That's 3 kills now. gillyShark looking savage, smelling blood in the water as Jaina in a very unfortunate place here, trying to dodge, play ring around the fortressy here, and looks like Jaina's gonna be the next kill. So that's a 4 kill for nothing as level 20 as well now set up for gillyShark. And Dr. Sigelli trying to make it out here. Dr. Sigelli, the only player on the map here. Well, Sylvanas back, but anyways, was the only player on the map for Wholesome Halfwits. So we're going to see this Bruiser camp getting picked up. I expect them maybe even to head down to that siege camp in the bot lane there. Taking all of the value that they can. And that's going to leave Wholesome Halfwits trying to find level 20 wherever they can. Mid lane is pushed up. In the top lane here, the Bruiser camp is going to help kind of push up the lane. In some ways, I'd almost rather that they let the their own minions die here, just so that the next wave comes in nice and clean, but it's close enough, so it's probably fine. But not a lot of XP for Wholesome Halfwits to pick up. And next Dragon Knight's coming up. It's very likely they're probably going to have to take an uneven fight here. Because I think Abathur can just pop the top. They send somebody into the bottom. Like, Abathur could walk to the top and then zip over to the dragon. But they're going to make use of the Bruiser camp here instead, trying to get value onto the wall. There's the Leyline Seal, along with Medivh cheating his way. Doesn't quite get the additional stasis onto Johanna, though. But here comes the clone. There goes the clone. So with the Bruiser camp and the Siege camp, they do finish off the wall. And Jinxie Cat now kind of in a bit of danger here. Getting low here, trying to get to the portal. A little bit of a danger portal, though, as very deep in to try to get to the same point ultimately. Massive shove throwing Johanna all the way back. And there's, again, that Leyline Seal. But it's going to be the kill onto Stukov. And it looks like Jinxie Cat, once again, surrounded by the health bars here of Wholesome Halfwits, trying to make it out, but Abathur's not able to provide quite enough. Maybe doesn't do it. So that's going to be 2 kills. And I think gillyShark just threw this game. All they had to do, they had so much pressure in the bot lane. All they had to do was walk Abathur to the top, send Medivh back to the portal, and Abathur heads to the mid, and they win this game. But oh my goodness, Malthael now trying to get some damage out, does get the last rights onto Dr. Jelly, but it doesn't finish the kill. And Thrall sitting at the point, they're just waiting for this Dragon Knight. Here it comes. Oh, and Medivh gets booped away and killed. Wholesome Halfwits getting the Dragon Knight. They're coming into the bot lane. They're going to get this keep for sure. They've got nothing. Only Malthael to do anything about this. Clone is available. I don't think that Malthael percent damage stacks, so I don't think that the clone would get any significant value out of this dragon. They take the sidewall down, and they're making their way onto this keep. 40 seconds until Medivh is back, so there's no leyline seal here. This keep is going down. The silence coming from Stukov. The massive shove sending Sylvanas out, but the Dragon Knight on its way to the core. At 20 minutes, the punt back onto Malthael. I want to see that, but oh my goodness, I don't want to miss this. A root coming out, silence follow-up as well. The Dragon Knight sitting at 25%, getting the punt onto Arthas. Chest Looter gonna go down. Malthael's dead, followed up by Stukov. 50% on the core, and Wholesome Halfwits finishing up the game, presumably. And there it is. What a game 3 from Wholesome Halfwits. All the way to the core. I know there are several of you in chat. Congratulations. That was a hell of a set. You guys played it strong all the way through. You know, the second game or first game, whichever game, at the second game where you guys lost. You know, even that one you guys played really strong. You know, just kind of got ahead of yourselves, lost the game there. But, you know, you guys really played a hell of a set here and kept it together. And now advancing on to the semifinals in Division A, the number 7 seed Wholesome Halfwits. And let's take a look at the standings here, the brackets. Wholesome Halfwits will move on to face Sky 5. Sky 5, the number 4 seed, I believe? 3 seed, number 3 seed. Up in the top here, Rewind going to be facing the winner of Lion Speed and Team Training Wheels, which is coming up here in a couple of hours. That'll be on twitch.tv/Ryokai. And I imagine that many of you guys will be looking for that. All right, let's take a look here and see. I believe let's check in on that Div D game, because I think that's the only game that is active right now. 8 o'clock is the next game, come up in Division B East, so check that out at twitch.tv/Nexus Commentaries. But this game is currently being run by DB Smiley. Let's check in and see how things are going with DB Smiley. See if that game is still going. Looks like it might be, so we're gonna go ahead and send everybody over to DB Smiley. Thanks everybody for joining me this afternoon, this evening, for the NGS Rewind. It's been an absolute pleasure. A couple of fantastic games today, and we're into the semifinals and the Coastal Finals this coming week, so I can't imagine there'll be more games here next week, but make sure to check the schedule. Keep an eye out. Also, feel free to check out my page at twitch.tv/Arrow of the Storm, where I'll be casting some matches. I've actually got one coming up for you tonight. It's going to be a heroic game between Archon and Nobo Esprouts. So make sure you tune in for that as well. That's at 9 o'clock. Thanks everybody for joining. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you soon.